So tell me about what kind of conditions are people coming in here with? I mean, what have they gone through, just anecdotally from what they tell you?
Well, a lot of them will tell you why they're here. And it's because someone in their family has been threatened, or has been murdered, or kidnapped, or their home has been burned down, or, it's a mom whose teenage son, they want him to join the gang, and she says no. And so they take off in the middle of the night. Some of them have lost family members, and that's really hard. A sibling, or there was a group of girls that didn't have parents anymore. So you just hear, and then some of the girls are, my understanding is if they're young ladies, they're usually put on the pill now before they begin their journey because they could be raped. And that makes you really sad to think you're just in so much danger just to get here.
That they already know before they leave, they know that this is a risk.
Mm-hmm. It's a real possibility. They can get kidnapped. Some of them are said they got arrested by the police, and the family was called to extort money, and they did, and so they got released. But we were secuestrados.
Yeah.
That's the word. And for 3 or 4 days before they were released again.
Yeah, I've interviewed a few people who've said that. We thought it was the police, or it was the police
Right.
in Mexico, but they ended up kidnapping us.
We had one gentleman, it was really interesting. He had a couple of fingers missing. He had a scar down his face. The back of his neck was like where they had tried to hack his head off. And and he lived to tell about it. And so I think I would believe him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, the stories are incredible.
Yeah.
And the sad ones are like the aunt raised the nephew from birth, and then because she's not legally his parent, he's taken away. That's happened several times. And even parents, they've lost their own kids.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're just crying, and how can we help, So we usually call other people to see how we can help them out.
So there's a great deal of trauma that people endure and that people go through this journey in their countries, and then as they're making their way here. What about when they get here? I mean, what kind of, especially health conditions, are people coming in with?
Most of them are coming in tired, dehydrated, wanting to shower because they haven't showered in so many days. We do get some. We've had chicken pox, we've had infantigo, we've had expectant women we've had to send to the hospital because they're not feeling well. Flu. There was lots of influenza for a while. And when that would happen, we would send them upstairs. We have an upstairs so we can keep them isolated from everybody else and keep them safe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way, safe. And but most of them tell you they're okay.
And how often were you having to send people to the hospital?
Okay, for a while there, we were doing 2 or 3 or 4 a week.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot.
Out of how many people were you receiving?
Back then we were getting 80 to 100 a day.
How recent was that?
That was just as recent as last month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and what about now?
Now, yesterday we got 10, Saturday we got 30, Monday we didn't get any. So it's just, and different times we can get them. We usually start getting them around 2 o'clock because, this is a day shelter for homeless people, and so they kind of use the showers and all of that in the morning. But we can get them as late as 10 o'clock at night when CBP drops them off at the bus station.
And what kind of, how long are they staying usually on average, or people who you talk to staying in detention with CBP?
It can be anywhere from 3 days, 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I was there a month. Yeah.
And how are the majority of people coming from CBP custody or ICE custody?
With children, they're coming with CBP.
Okay.
If they're single, male or females, then they're ICE. Yeah. Some of them will come, they'll tell you things like the mom will say, well, my child wasn't sick, but when we got in with CBP, either the milk or something, upset their stomach, and so they're vomiting or they have diarrhea. So now we keep Pedialyte here for the diarrhea and the vomiting to help with that. And also the expectant women. We're doing a study with UTRGV on expectant women because it's felt like it's very stressful on people and especially pregnant women and the fetus. So we're tracking them for a month, and we give them Pedialyte to get their electrolytes up.
And generally, what's lacking? What are they lacking? What deficiencies are they having?
Well, they're not doing prenatal care at all on the trip, and so they're trying to figure out how we can help them get prenatal vitamins and get the prenatal care they need once they get to their final place.
You said you were seeing up to 100 people in a single day. Now maybe nobody's coming through.
Right.
What's changed?
Well, we're not sure. We're imagining it's the MPP that just got instated, where they go to the bridge, they get their first hearing, and then they're being sent back to Matamoros, which there used to be maybe 40, 50, 60 people that would get fed at the bridge every evening, and now it's running 180, 150.
That are being sent back?
That they're feeding now. So we're imagining that they're the ones that are getting through and being sent back.
Got it.
Yeah.
That they're feeding on the other side
Yes.
of Mexico.
There's a group of people that take food every day.
Oh, okay.
And if they're from out of town, they cook in our kitchen and take the food over.
What happens in Mexico?
They're on the street, literally on the street, because the refugee places there are full. So these people are sleeping in like a little park area, and it's sad. I mean, they don't have plumbing or place to shower.
And how long is the wait?
Some of them have been there 3 months, and now they've crossed, and if they're sent back, one of the men was telling them, I'm going to be here maybe waiting a year. Can you imagine living like that? They take a bath in the river. There's no restrooms, so they're going wherever they can find a place. We package toilet paper for the group and wipes and send them across
For the people
who are for the ones they're feeding that are living out,